We got major corporations that will fire you for defending the cash register, but a politician wants to empty the cells and put criminals back on your block. We got to talk about it. Let me, boom.
Because Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders and Zohran Mamdani, who do want to give you, quote, free stuff, just not free peanuts at Five Guys, they're out campaigning in direct defiance against long-serving members of their Democrat Party.
But one of their intended candidates is under fire for her views on whether murderers should go to prison.
Bill Melugin is live at the White House with the very latest. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Griff, good morning to you. It is not going to surprise anybody these days, but New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is standing firmly by the side of a fellow Democratic socialist running for Congress in New York. And this is a person who has said a lot of things that raise a whole lot of eyebrows and has basically taken about as far left positions as you can get. So we'll get into her. Her name is Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. She's running for Congress in New York's 13th district. She has said a number of things in now deleted posts between 2018 and 2022 on social media, including that she wants to abolish borders, abolish prisons, and police is abolishing all those things as, quote, possible, necessary, and the only moral way forward. She has also said that
somebody listen, when y'all watch this tomorrow, if y'all watch the long version of it or the clipped up version of this, y'all make sure somebody need to get my video to this woman. I just went on a thing about threats and solving for terrorism and somebody get that out to that woman. She clearly has missed the plot.
All deportation is wrong and, quote, yes, literally abolish the border. She's also made some anti-American comments saying, quote, this country.
She's smiling her picture. She probably really be excited for what she's doing. She's running for public office or whatnot. She ain't doing nothing malice and nothing ill contempt, nothing dubious, unlike our buddy in the last photo or whatnot. But
is a effing disgrace. In another post, she also added, quote, I forgot to get napkins, so I just wiped my hand on the American flag behind me in yet another post. Now, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders were both campaigning for Chevalier in New York on Thursday.
And that, my friends, is why we need to elect Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. Daria is exactly who the people of the Bronx and Upper Manhattan deserve representing them in Congress.
The next 4 days, everybody here and everybody in the city has got to work hard to make sure that
the people that people vote for in their local elections and our local elections are just a representation of the people. The leaders, the people that y'all will be voting are a representative of the electorate. There are people that actually believe what she. Now again, I'm for free speech, whatnot. You know what I mean? And that's for both sides because you got to go. If you gonna do it for one side, you got to do it for the other side. But wow, like no matter where I go, I'm gonna salute the flag. I'm gonna respect the office. I'm gonna salute the flag. I'm an American. Okay, you know. I have it's patriotism in me. Patriotism in me. Doesn't mean it's not criticism against my government, of course. But some of the things that people be saying, and again, both sides, but it's like you take the napkin of the United States flag and wipe but you want to run for a public office. You want to hold a public office seat. Huh. Okay.
Brad and Claire and Daria Lisa become the next congresspeople for New York City.
Now listen to this. Chevalier sat down with the New York editorial board where she repeatedly dodged questions on how she thinks murderers should be handled as a self-proclaimed prison abolitionist. The questioner said, quote, I went to a sentencing.
And why y'all always be electing activists, school teachers and activists? Like, seriously. Y'all ain't got nobody better on the Democratic side. Y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all ain't got nobody formidable. No, like it's always gonna be from the poorest part of the electorate to say from the Bronx, right? So
last week, a man killed another man, didn't know the person, just sitting on a stoop got an 18-year prison sentence. Should that person not go to prison, and what should happen instead? She replied, so, you know, for prison abolitionists, I think a lot of folks misunderstand what that vision of the world actually is, and it is one that actually centers this question of harm. At the heart of what we're asking is, why is that there? Why is there that there's so much harm in our society? She ended up dodging that question multiple times. And back out here live, she's also running on completely abolishing ICE. She's previously called Joe Biden a rapist. She's previously said, quote, F Kamala Harris. Back during the COVID-19 pandemic, she urged the government to provide about $3,000 a month to everybody in basic universal income. She said pharmaceutical companies and private medical insurance should be dissolved. She also suggested that Medicare should be expanded to every single citizen and private property be seized from landlords. So that right there is what gets you an endorsement from Bernie Sanders and Zohran Mamdani these days, guys.
Sorry, we're gonna have to listen. Let's write that down. We're gonna have to stay on top of this. Lord have mercy. This is my first time reacting in real time. So I found out it said Democratic Socialists of America is not part of the Democratic Party. It's an independent, nonprofit political organization. However, two contexts have a close but complex relationship. It's a lot here. I'll spare y'all the details for now, but they too far left. I don't need a too far left candidate, and I don't need a too far right candidate. This is what we have to weave out as voters, as taxpayers, when we're trying to make an informed decision who to vote for and why we're voting for them. And these people can't ever sell you on anything effective, whatnot, right? You basically trying to put everybody's lives at risk. I don't take it serious. Somebody's gonna vote for them. There's a space for everybody, right? I would be deadly afraid. I'm like, so, but what's the plan? It's almost okay. You want to abolish ICE. Because you could went after other people. So what is the plan? What is the alternative? Chevalier? What is the plan, Miss Chevalier? What is your plan? You give me a bunch of word salad. What's your plan? You don't have a plan.
We'll send it back to you.
Wow.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. All right, Bill
Vision.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Bill.
Bill. It's really amazing when you look at where all of these things are, these policies are taking, or politicians rather, are taking hold. They're all in Democrat strongholds. Everywhere you look at where this rot is being sold is in places where Democrats have had a stranglehold on politics for a long time.
It's for poor people. And people that mindset wise, money wise, but mindset, this is programming. And people be literally, and why y'all gotta make our lives miserable? Because your life miserable. We out here every day trying to figure out life. We praying to God, we in our word, if you a believer, whatnot. We're trying to figure it out. We can't, it's like when we ever can't like get to a point. But when I think we've turned the corner, soon as I think we turn the corner, people start pissing on it. They start pissing on us and start pissing on me and trying to tell me that it's Sprite. No, it's piss. And I'm angry. There's an anger in me, right? Because independent thinkers are trying to weave all this out to make an informed decision in who you are and what you all about. And this is my first time reading, because I'm watching this in real time because it's a very long video. So I'm sorry if I'm a little heated on this. That's the word I can use right now. But why? Why not sit this one out? You have a plugin, and as a she probably have more likely to have a platform, got followers and all that stuff like that, and eating this up. I'm like, man, you miserable people. Your life, your only job is to make our lives even miserable. You miserable Fs. I caught myself. Why? It's everybody. It's almost like it's like this. It's groupthink. And the moment that somebody wakes up and have an enlightenment awakening, they try to tear you down.
Long time. This is not a rejection of America or American values or Republicans. This is a rejection of the Democrat Party. That's the only places this nonsense flourishes are in places where Democrats have controlled for many years. And if you go around and you talk to and they'd love to talk about the working class, You talk to anybody who is a normal worker in this country.
There's extremes on the right as well. Certainly. But this
country, they are not talking about open borders. They are not talking about abolishing prisons. They are not talking about giving the government this power to take everything away from people. I think that this stuff, it flourishes in places like New York City, and then it dies there.
Asking a candidate if a murderer should go to prison is not a trick question. It's unbelievable that this is the candidate. But I think at the root of this is our education system. Yes, you're right. It's got these ideas, these communist foreign ideas. Because
think about this. This stuff be on college campuses. I know that Charlie Kirk's trial is coming up, and I didn't really follow Charlie Kirk's stuff. And I know he was, but people would like to believe that, oh my God, he was racist and this and that. Man was for open debate, conversation. This woman is for a conversation or debate. She couldn't even answer she couldn't when they asked her a direct question. When they asked her a direct question. Okay. Because like, if I'm going to talk about this kind of stuff, I got to kind of find the humor in it. I got to try to split it down the middle because it's a lot. And I ain't even got to what I have on, what I wrote down about this, but this is a lot. You can't, how can I have you be like, I just want to have a conversation. I want to have a conversation. You want to have a conversation on your terms. You don't want to have a conversation where we both can learn, even if we have healthy discourse. We have healthy civil discourse.
Communism is foreign to our country. It was brought here by the progressives.
Does not work with any of our ideals.
Completely true. So it's this foreign idea that's been implanted. And the only reason that it's taking hold is because we have allowed these Marxists to take over our education system.
So true.
So these
listen, they are school teachers. They are counselors. Some of us who's probably going to therapy, they your therapists. Okay. They your life coach. I think you need to have a life coach who's 40 years or older. Okay. They your community activist. They your primary care physician. Even though when I don't really hear much about, and that's good. My primary care physician don't talk about their political views because that's not why that is not why we there. I don't care about your political views. I need you to read my results, tell me what's going on, what corrections I need to make, and go from there. No, we might talk about family, whatever, and all that, but we're not talking about no political views here. She looked like a barista. It's, ma'am, make my coffee. I don't want to hear about your no, we're not paying you for that. No. And anybody could be barista. I'm just, again, the mail lady, okay? The second, whatever. But I'm just saying, these people, we are around these people every single day. We are around these people every single day. Sometimes you hear the conversation at work. I pay you to do this, not to hear this. Listen. Whoa. She's not a bad looking woman, but the views are too extreme. And then, man, again, like I said, they somebody, like I said, school counselor. They go to your church.
Young people who are hearing these messages, as soon as there's a little bit of a tough economic time, and this is what communists do, right? This is what they do in Venezuela, and this is what they do in Cuba or wherever else that communism has come. They sell a lot of promises, give a lot of lip service to the working class, but they end up, instead of delivering a utopia, they end up living hell.
Yeah, let's break this down just a little bit, though, to Charlie's point about where this is stemming from. We've seen at the city hall level, in the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, now in D.C. with Janice Lewis-George, out in Seattle, Katie Wilson. You've seen at the city hall level this far-left, socialist, communist view take hold. It's never happened yet at the congressional level. But Mamdani and Sanders are rallying because they are basically saying this is where the energy is in the Democrat Party right now.
He should be celebrating the Knicks' victory. This was Thursday. Yeah, it was okay. That was great.
Watch.
Now, people often ask me what I think of the state of the Democratic Party. This slate here today is our answer. The Democratic Party must change. They tend to follow that question with another. Who do you want to run in 2028? Then they ask, when does the race for 2028 begin? It starts now. It starts on Tuesday. Because for far too long, our party has seen its job as managing decline instead of delivering material change for working people. And that old way of thinking will lose on Tuesday. And frankly, it will lose in South Carolina and New Hampshire. It will fall short of 270 electoral votes because the party of the past will not be what leads us into the future.
Griff, you're the first person to really come out very out and proud, besides Bernie Sanders, was AOC. She came out, she was out and proud as socialist. She made no bones about it. And now we got the squad, all of her friends, Ilhan Omar, Taliba Rashid, and now we're getting this new crop of young communists. And Mamdani himself cannot become president because he was born in another country.
You got to be, the thing about running for president, one, you got to be electable, and you got to be likable, okay? And you got to have some charisma, and you're gonna have to have some massive charisma. None of these people they show, again, at the local level, you got it. But once you expose, you start being put on that national stage, you trying to sell this message to rural America, and they like, oh, no. Because even this was a prison abolish debate. So I got to make sure that I remember what this is all about, because I did go on a little tangent with some things, but try to bring it all back together. If my audience is still with me, they wasted a lot of our brain calories here, including mine. But these people are unelectable. If you want to be president on either side, you got to be, because you got to be Obama. Talk about hope, change. We're trying to change the world. Got a little rave of words, whatnot. I don't want to just give my thoughts on Obama's presidency on another time.
But if he could have run, I think he would be formidable. This guy can't run for president, but I think, the face of the movement. He's surpassed AOC in talent, I think, in his ability and his charisma. Obviously, his ideas are totally bankrupt, and as I said, not part of anything to do with the American experiment of who we are. But he's effective, and I think that people should not take this lightly, just as they shouldn't have taken AOC lightly. She got us to this point, and I think he can take this ball more forward, Charlie.
Well, whatever happens, it's a civil war, a raging civil war within the Democrat Party right now.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Okay. Wow. I have a lot to say. There's a lot to talk about. It's on the pack here. Okay, listen. When a political leader actively campaigns on a platform to entirely decimate the prison system, because you got to remember, this was a prison system, and everything else was just word salad, fillers, and fried cheese and rice. However that may go. That sounds disgusting, okay? That sounds like you want to throw something out. Who is protecting the ordinary citizen from high-velocity violent actors? Does an ideology like this survive a single audit of the real-world street crime, or is it completely detached from a reality of public safety? I'm going to say that it's detached from reality of public safety. People have read too many diaspora books, too many 1984 books. maybe you have read, or maybe you have watched that movie, or it was a book. I think it was probably a book, or it's a show I seen on Amazon. The Man in the High Castle, revisionist history. We're trying to revision the world, whatnot. Maybe any other Netflix shows out there, whatnot. And this is what, listen, do I take this serious? Do I take what the lady do? I take it as serious as I can be, as it is. Okay. Because number one, I don't have to live in New York. Okay. So if they elect that person, they run that listen, they over there running New York into the ground. They're not running Georgia into the ground. Okay. People got to understand, again, like I said early in my thought, my think piece, you got to give people alternatives to your ideology. That makes sense. You got to give people alternatives. And they have to be, as they like to say, comprehensive. It's got to be digestible. Say what you want to say about Trump. He tells it like it is. Say what we're going to do. I know he don't use all these big, colorful, bloated words, whatnot, because I'm not trying to be out there trying to ask Google, what is the meaning of this word? Don't insult my intelligence. Now, I'm not saying I'm a stupid person. By all means, not. But you need to kind of get to what you're trying to get to. What are you trying to sell? What are you trying to put across the finish line? What are you trying to put across the table? You trying to sell? I asked for Tuscan chicken, and you giving me roasted duck. It's not what I asked for. That's not what I asked for. It's got to be things that, like, okay, listen, taxes. Okay, that's where my fight would be at. Taxes. We can't get away from not paying taxes, but what can we do to get where? Because these people will be like, now, because Elon Musk is a trillionaire, now they'll be like, now they want to talk about going after trillionaires. So again, now, but we're talking about abolishing prisons and stuff like that. No way in hell you gonna abolish prisons. Where you gonna put the criminals at? You gonna give them a job? You gonna let them be on your campaign staff? You gonna let them run the community organizers and organization and whatnot? Like, really? I think people just gotta listen. They are completely detached from reality. They're just completely detached. Second question. Second thought here. What is the and I just said this. Listen, what is the realistic alternative for holding repeat offenders who refuse to respect the baseline boundaries of civil society? Huh? That's a question I asked that woman. I think that's a question I asked her. But she can't even ask that question. Okay. This might need to be live. We're gonna get off this. Okay, again, man. Ooh. I don't know. All right, we got two more stories to get into. Okay, because I know this is a lot to unpack. So we gonna head over to. We gotta talk about some credit card schemers. And then we also have a graduation tragedy that we gotta talk to as our last story for tonight. So we'll take you to our next story coming up right now.